Life as a 9th century Viking can be somewhat overwhelming initially, and with lots of new systems to get to grips with in Norway and England, this collection of Assassin's Creed Valhalla tips should steer your longship in the right direction. Whether you're looking for ways to get rich quick, find special loot, or just traverse Mercia that little bit faster, this selection of spoiler-free info nuggets should help you out. Use SYNIN and ODIN'S site. Perhaps it will sound like a given for Assassin's Creed players, but it's time to use your abilities again. If you go for the default Explorer setting when it comes to quest guidance, you might find yourself aimlessly wandering about looking for your next clue. Send up your Raven to scope things out, use the Focus ability, and a blue line should point your direction to the target area. You'll then see the zone marked out in a clear blue. Your other useful ability, ODIN'S Sight, comes in very handy to find assassination targets, but also during raids. Keep blasting your special vision and you'll spot the lovely gold sparkle of goods to pillage. They'll then appear as barrels on your compass at the top of the screen. Other treasures will also shine bright gold, so always make sure you keep an eye, especially when it comes to hunting down the ability-giving Books of Knowledge. Nab those sync points. This one is another given for the Assassin's Creed community, but it's worth reiterating that due to the sprawling nature of Valhalla, you need to make sure you're clambering up those eagle-symboled sync points to nab those fast travel locations. The campaign purposefully takes you across nearly the whole map, and you don't want to be the Viking that gets caught out when you forgot to sync in a town and then need to go back for a contract or as part of the story. Synchronization points also label up towns and areas of interest on your map, so that comes in handy during the campaign too. Upgrade your rations early. The switch back to a renewable health potion system was a bold move from Ubisoft, and means that fights can no longer be won by scuttling away and coming back for more once you're ready. Instead, you have to create rations with picked berries and mushrooms that, thankfully, are plentiful in the world. Food tends to be widely available across Mercia in raw and cooked form via fireside pots, but if you're worried, you can also buy full rations from local vendors. You'll start out with room for only one set of rations, but you can upgrade your pockets with resources. Do this early and you'll find yourself in less sticky situations. Watch your mushrooms. And while we're on the topic, just like in real life, keep an eye on your mushroom intake. While most pickable food is good for you, there are a number of mushroom patches that will take your health. As a rule of thumb, the yellow mushrooms are perfectly fine, but if you see some black, which you'll quite often spot in cursed places, steer clear if you don't want to watch your health bar plummet. Thankfully, UB doesn't appear to be mean, so anything you find growing in the area of boss battles and raids will be safe to eat. Smash glass. Everything is a lot more, well, smashable this time round. If something looks weak and fragile, it probably is, and that includes the beautiful stained glass of monastery and church windows. While some of them are reinforced with metal to prevent entry, there are usually windows you can smash like a Viking vandal with an arrow or axe to clamber inside. And if you can't get in a window, chances are you can find one to use to shoot the lock on barred doors. Use ODIN'S sight and this rectangle of wood will highlight red. This is also the case with tantalizing fasteners for heavy bags to drop on enemies or weak floors, and locking devices keeping ladders just out of reach. Unlock Advanced Assassination. If you're erring on the stealthier playstyle now that Assassin's Creed has reintroduced hay and murder ropes across streets, the Advanced Assassination skill is absolutely essential. It's along the yellow line or way of the Raven on your skill tree and allows you to assassinate even high-level enemies if you manage to win at a QTE minigame. All you need to do is tap the assassination button once, then tap it again when the indicator is in the highlighted area to fell even the mightiest of foes. You can even slay potential bosses before they know what's hit them. Keep your arrows topped up. So, unlike Assassin's Creed Odyssey, when it was easy to walk around with Cassandra armed with hundreds of flaming and poisoned arrows, that's just not the case this time round. With no arrow crafting on the fly, you'll have to find them for your bow. That means looting from racks in camps and castles, and grabbing arrows from dead animals and your slain enemies. They can also be found sticking out of tree stumps occasionally, so keep an eye on your surroundings when you're in more rural areas. They'll be there somewhere, especially if the solution to a puzzle or movement challenge depends on using your bow. Grab treasure hoard maps. If you enjoyed the treasure maps from Black Flag, clearly so did the dev team. Get your hands on a treasure hoard map indicated by a scroll marker on your map and compass, and you'll be able to scratch those X marks the spot desires in no time. There's a treasure hoard map section in your bag from your inventory screen, and some scrolls show off a drawn map and the area you'll find treasure. Other scrolls will have a letter explaining where the riches have been hidden. Be aware though that the loot will vary. You can shoot fish and blow them up. And resuming normal programming, it's time to shoot some fish. Yes, seriously. While you can of course fish for fish with your line, if you see them swimming around, you can snare them with an arrow if patience really isn't one of your strong points. You can also throw in one of those explosive pots if you really want to cause some damage to the ecosystem. Ask for help. This is a good rule for life, but finally, if you find yourself in a sticky situation, it's important to ask for help. If you're close to water, you can ask for your raid crew to come to your aid by selecting the longship option in your radial menu. As long as you're close to water, your lovely crew will rock up with bows to fire from the water. This can even include zealot battles. So if you're having a hard time with one of these angry mega bosses, lure them to water, which isn't hard given how much they love the thrill of the chase, and even the odds somewhat. So there you have it, our top tips for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Subscribe to Games Radar or we'll challenge you to a fighting match, and thanks for watching.